Welcome to the GMR Zone podcast, a weekly podcast dedicated to bringing you all the important news for GMR, the premier crypto for gamers by gamers. Let's get to the news with your host, Frank Katina.
What's going on, gamers? We're here with the GMR Zone episode 15, and we're following up on last week's episode, which was, as you guys know, pretty huge. We had all of the developers on for a big time AMA. It lasted about I think about an hour, almost 50 minutes, something like that. And we got a lot of good response out of it. We're going to have them on at the end of the month, every month, for an AMA. Of course, you know, we may get some repeat questions from time to time. That's how the community likes to do it, but that's okay. So this week, or rather, at the throughout the episode last week, we were telling you guys that we are doing an NFT giveaway. The submissions for that have closed, and we will announce the winner of that contest next week on the podcast. Next week's podcast is going to be another absolutely huge one. We're going to have Mark Garside on with Troy and I to show everybody the public unveiling, you might say, of the GMR Center, which will be going live, you know, somewhat soon. There's something I wanted to talk about. And it's not a question that I've got, but through some conversations that I've had lately, I don't know, it just made me think about it. The name of the podcast is the GMR Zone podcast. Now, when I named it that, it wasn't to, you know, make it sound cool, like, oh, the Gamer Zone. No, it wasn't anything like that. Some of you, in fact, most of you who are watching this are probably somewhat newer to GMR, at least newer than some of us old guys here. I've been involved with the GMR coin since day 2. And the original website, believe it or not, or rather, I should say the current website is gmr.finance, right? And then you have the GMR Center, which is separate. But the original all-encompassing website was just called gmr.zone. So, you know, it was the Gamer Zone, and I thought that was pretty cool. So they did end up changing the name before we started the podcast. But when the time came to name the podcast, I thought, you know, let's capture a bit of that nostalgia. Let's give a little bit of meaning, you know, like an intertwined meaning to the past for this podcast, to the origins of GMR, something that can, you know, remain here for forever, or as long as we all last, whichever comes first, to give it a retro feel, if you will. So how about that, AMA? I think we got a lot of answers to a lot of burning questions. You know, It's the nature of every AMA that we're going to get a lot of repeat questions, as I already said, but I think the community feels better hearing the same things over and over again. And we also can't ignore the fact that there are a lot of new people who come through the doors and they just don't know the things that we know already. So as I said, next week, Mark will be on with us to show everyone a sneak preview of the GMR Center. Can't wait for you all to see it, because I got to tell you, when we got the preview a few weeks back, it's just amazing to see, and I think you guys are going to be super happy with it. So we're going to just move right on here, and speaking of Mark, we're going to go with Tech Talk with Mark. Why am I saying everything weird today? Am I having a stroke? I did get my second jab, so who knows, right? Speaking of, here's Mark Garside with Tech Talk. Let's take it away.
This is Tech Talk with GMR's very own Mark Garside.
Welcome back to Tech Talk, and I'm back in a familiar setting, at least this time. As you'll know, I travelled back to England last week to be with the team where we actually did a developer AMA. So If you're just tuning in now and you've not checked that out, head back to the links. I'm sure you'll find it there. And it was really worth a listen because, well, actually, let me just say one thing. I seen the memes. You guys go hard into the red, let me tell you. Enough to make us a bit self-conscious about coming on camera. I'll tell you that. No, no, I'm kidding. It's all fun. So yeah, it was really good to kind of sit down and talk about with Frank and for everybody to hear and see what the vision is for the overall project, what we can expect and when. It's really worth a listen if you've not already done so. I imagine most people have. And the good thing is, this week we actually recorded a community preview of the Gamer Center and some of the products that are going to be released on there in the near future and how, in fact, you can interact with them. So I imagine next week's segment of the Tech Talk will actually be this demonstration. So that's going to be really fun to watch and see. And I personally can't wait to see and gauge the reaction from the community about what's actually coming in the next month or so, because I mean, it's a pretty big deal, right? This is our utility we're talking about, you know, because I think this point has been made a few times in recent weeks. Like, if you consider the size of our community, the engagement we're getting, and the love that we're being shown from the Binance Smart Chain community right now, and this is all without our utility, and this is finally going to be out there in the world and people can actually interact with it. And, you know, this is just the beginning. So I'm super excited to see that. So there's not an awful lot in the tech side of things that I'll probably be discussing here today because we're going to be talking, as you'll see next week, we've kind of covered all that in the community demonstration that you're going to see. But mostly the team have been concentrating on getting these NFTs ready for the marketplace. Craig mentioned in the AMA that we're actually working with studios and artists and designers right now to develop a suite of NFTs that you guys can be really proud of holding and actually want to collect. So we're working with partners in the gaming industry as well to try and secure those exclusive NFTs that we want to, you know, show to the community and get them engaged in trying to collect, let's be honest. So that's going to be really fun to see how that unfolds. There's some big names, some special names that we'll probably be talking about in the near future as we start to announce the participants in the Warzone tournament in particular. And those NFTs will kind of hopefully already gather a bit of traction before they even drop on the center. So that's going to be fun. So other than that, I keep those suggestions coming from through the podcast for your suggestions for the social environment about what we're going to call it. There's been some real interesting ones. Social face. Yeah, that's not going to happen, guys. And to be fair, I think that was one of the developers who suggested that. So yeah, that's not going to happen. So, but there's been some really great ones. So keep them coming. And as we near the time of launch, we'll actually announce what name we've gone with. And I really do hope it comes from the community suggestions because you guys have been awesome throughout the whole process. So keep that up. And yeah, stay tuned. Next week's going to be a big one. Over to you, Frank.
I must be having a stroke. I did that thing again. I'm not sure what's going on with my camera here. It's like the light is getting... I don't know. All right, just stay bright there, buddy. It's like getting dark. I'm not sure if it's the screen or the actual recording, so I guess I'll find out in post, right? If you're not familiar with what Mark was talking about with the memes he referred to in the beginning... The area that they were actually in during the AMA had a few nice couches in a room. It resembled sort of a casting couch for for casting actors in productions, if you know what I mean. Mark, as you can see, is also excited about showing off the GMR Center next week, obviously. And I wanted to touch on the point that he said, we've come so far without having a utility. All we've had up to now is promises of a utility, right? And it's easy to get discouraged when all you hear is promises, and you don't see anything. So, this whole thing has sort of been orchestrated. We get the AMA. I know, AMAs were in high demand for a while, and people were disappointed that they weren't getting them as often as they wanted. So we kicked things into high gear. Monthly AMAs. Next week, the GMR Center preview. Within a couple weeks of that, I mean, it goes live. I mean, it's September already. We're talking about the GMR Center Warzone tournament. So much is happening. And as he said, you know, we did so much without a utility. We got a partnership with Binance Smart Chain. Now, I realize people have sort of glossed over that over the last week. And maybe that's partly my fault. You know, I thought that when we were covering it in the AMA, it was like huge news, but we didn't really get to circle back to it too much. And we really have to think. A partnership with Binance Smart Chain, that's absolutely fucking insane. And we've done nothing. Not that the devs haven't done nothing, but the GMR platform has yet to do anything. Already gained a partnership with them. So imagine what's coming down the line once the utility launches. I'm telling you. I've gotten to see a few of the NFTs, and I think that you guys will absolutely love them. All right, but let's get into the numbers. Bitcoin is nearing 50K again. I was right 2 weeks ago when I said that it would surpass it, but it did go back down and is now about to go beyond 50K again. My guess, this is just, you know, and again, not a financial advisor or anything like that, but my guess is that once it goes past 51,000, we'll see it reach a new all-time high within 2 to 3 weeks of that happening. But there's another factor that we have to talk about. Ethereum is at 3,864. And again, this is as of September 5th at 1:58 in the morning, my time, Eastern Standard Time. Once it passes $4,000, I think things could get very interesting. That could either push Bitcoin up past its all-time high, or, and this could be interesting, we could see a total decoupling. I'm thinking that's a definite possibility, and perhaps even a confidence drop in Bitcoin. Who knows? Maybe Ethereum could become the new standard. You know what I mean? I mean, it's probably the second largest coin, and as far as I know, it has a lot more utility than Bitcoin. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with those two. You know, the last time that Ethereum was over $4,000, Bitcoin was over $60,000, if my memory serves. You know, so it's going to be interesting the next month or two. GMR. Okay, so the market cap, 24.2 million right now. Okay, so we're still holding steady there. And our holders are steady at over 195,000. There's really been no change up or down there. So I think we're going to see that situation change, though, within the next few weeks. By the end of this month, we're going to see some big changes, in my opinion. I think we can definitely expect to see something happen when we see the GMR Center preview. And then within a couple weeks of that, when it goes live, I think things are going to go very, very crazy. But you know how it goes. As always, when we talk numbers, there's always FUD. And you know what that means. We need our calming boy, Diamond Hands, with What the FUD. Take it away, Diamond Hands. He does the intro for everyone else, so I'll do the intro for him. It's time for What the FUD, with the most calming podcast voice ever, Diamond Hands.
Hello gamers, we are back to regularly scheduled programming this week. I had a lot of fun with the format of the last episode and I hope that you guys did too. I'm already looking forward to recording the next one. But until then, we are back with our regular segments. So, what FUD have we been seeing on the socials this week? Well, I think the first one to address is a nice quick one. What the hell was that 52% drop we saw midweek? Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, was nothing more than a CoinMarketCap glitch. According to them, the price tanked from the 69s all the way down to the 33s and then immediately returned to where it was. It did cause a fair amount of panic from people like myself who have price alerts for GMR enabled in their wallets. And of course, because Trust Wallet gets its pricing from CoinMarketCap, the massive drop in price there triggered a price alert on Trust Wallet. On the plus side, it did result in a few panic buys from people who thought they were getting a great deal by buying a great big dip without checking the PooCoin charts first. Now, I've learned to have little to no faith in the prices Trust Wallet presents to me, so the first thing I did when I got that notification was to check the charts to confirm, and I saw that there was no massive price dump. And that's really all there is to that story. Moving on. The AMA last week had a bit of a mixed reaction from the community. The majority of the community were pleased with what they heard. They took a lot of positives from what was being shared by the team, and there was a lot of general excitement about what was being talked about. The streaming functionality of the GMR Center coming by the end of the year, the talk about Frank and Mark getting together to do a public preview of the NFT hub and social features, which do still need a name, by the way. Reach out to the GMR team on Discord, Telegram, Twitter, Reddit, whatever it is you use to share your ideas for what the social platform should be called. But there were still people who felt like the AMA was overhyped considering what it contained. Now, personally, I disagree with this. I think there were some huge pieces of information that we heard last week that absolutely warranted the level of hype surrounding it. Unfortunately for those people, I think anything less than concrete dates for the Warzone tournament and the NFT hub launch just wasn't good enough. And until those dates are released to the public, nothing will make them happy. Now, I did see this coming, and I did try to address this in our roundup of the AMA last week. But I think that the end of the actual AMA may well have been the end of the viewing for a number of those people, especially when they got to the end and they hadn't heard what they were looking for. So, to reiterate, at the time of this recording this, we are roughly a week after the AMA was recorded, and we haven't had those dates yet. But the final details of the Warzone tournament were promised within 2 weeks. So, next week, we can all expect to find out exactly when the Warzone tournament is taking place, who is taking part, and how community members can register to take part in the community qualifiers. With regards to why we haven't got a concrete date for the NFT hub launch yet, to that I'd just like to refer everyone to the botched SafeMoon wallet release. Concrete date, concrete time, concrete shoes on the chart when the launch didn't go to plan and the price plummeted. Now, I know for a fact that Mark will want to know for absolutely sure that when a launch date is committed to, that it will be once he is 100% sure that the release will go ahead as planned. That the product being ready will dictate the release date and not the other way around. And I believe that this is absolutely the right approach. We've all seen what happens when a release date is promised and the product isn't ready. Look at Cyberpunk 2077. Product releases are hard enough to get right without a horde of clamoring fans raging when it isn't ready when they were promised it. I'm not surprised that the GMR team are keeping the release dates close to their chests. I would be too. But when it's ready, it'll be hitting both the crypto and gaming worlds like a hurricane. Until next week, Diamond Hands out.
There, I actually unmuted myself this time. I remember seeing that 50% price drop notification, and I immediately checked my wallet, and I was like, "What the fuck just happened?" Like, I stepped away from my computer for 2 minutes. Did some crazy shit go down in the community? But no. As soon as I looked, I immediately realized what happened. But if you're not as familiar with the situation as we here are on the team, it's totally understandable if you got a bit freaked out. Always check the charts indeed. I like to check PooCoin myself. because that seems to be the most accurate. Yes, so the social platform, the Telegram / MySpace function on the GMR Center has yet to be named. So here's what I want you to do right now. Look in the video description here, or if you're listening on the podcast, go to the podcast description and click the link to submit your voice message with your ideas. That was Mark's requirement. If you want to be considered, you got to send in that voice message with your ideas for what the social platform on the GMR Center should be named. So that's up to you. Now, as for dates, yes, no concrete dates were given. Now, I got to be careful here. All right, I got to be careful. If you go back and you listen closely, you can absolutely infer when things are going to happen. Okay, I'm not going to say myself, but go back and listen, and you will absolutely understand what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm not trying to be too cryptic here. I mean, I guess I am, but I'm not trying to send you on an Easter egg hunt, but go take a listen and you'll definitely get it. All right, let's move forward with Westy and Jesus and a special guest. Take it away, boys.
Hello, gamers. Welcome to the Discord show with your presenters, Westy and Jesus. Broadcasting not quite live all across the internet. Now here they are, Westy and Jesus.
And welcome, guys, back to the Westy and Jesus show. We're back. Well, we was off last week, weren't we, doing our little AMA breakdown, Jesus? Yeah. So we're back after a new week.
We are back, finally.
But why do you look so nervous, Jesus? There's a big, there's a mystery guest here, and you don't know who the hell it is, do you?
Yeah, who the hell is it?
Oh, no. Well, basically, guys and listeners, we decided after the AMA breakdown, we're going to mix our show up a bit, and what better way is in actually bringing on more people from the community. As you say, me and Jesus talk about the community news every week, but we actually want to talk to the members of the community as well. So going forward, we're going to bring on a special guest every week, and it's going to be Jesus' task within 2 minutes of asking yes/no questions if he can figure out who the mystery guest is. And this mystery guest could be a developer, so it could be Mark, Brian, Craig, or even someone that's helping one of Mark's team out. It could be a pillar of the community, such as, well, I'm not going to give away any names because it could be our mystery guest today, but you get the point. This person, the mystery guest, has had an influence in GMR, or has been made GMR famous, which everyone probably knows about. And now it's Jesus' task to try and figure out who this person is. Are you excited, Jesus?
Yeah, I am, and I'm very bad at things like this. So you definitely hit the point here.
I got you on the spot. You literally came into this with no idea of what we was even going to do on the show. I've kept it quiet. I say Frank knew about this. There's a few people, and obviously my mystery guest who's been in touch all week. Actually, I lied to you, Jesus. I said we had to change the mystery guest at the last second. This has been in place all week, ready for this moment. So,
I knew
right. Just to confirm, mystery guest, that you're not a robot. Can we get a hello from you?
Hey, how's it going, guys? I am here.
Oh,
there
fun.
he is. And listeners at home, and if you're in the live chat now, if you want to try and have a guess and see if you can guess before Jesus can who this GMR famous person is. And what we're going to do is I'm going to put the music on now. It lasts for 2 minutes. So you've basically got till the music ends, Jesus, where you'll hear this. This is the music. So,
my God.
And then once you get to the end of the 2 minutes, you'll hear this. In which then you have to tell us who the mystery guest is before we do the big reveal. So are you down with this, Jesus?
Yeah, I will lose.
We need to rush because obviously we need to keep our time schedule down as well. So
exactly. Let's go.
We're going to start now. So Jesus, take a big breath. Are you ready? Mystery guest, are you ready?
Born ready. Let's do it.
And remember, Jesus, yes/no questions, but the mystery guest can help you if you're close. That's down to his decision if he wants to give you a little bit of a clue if you're getting to near what this person or who this person is, okay?
Okay.
Right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Mystery guest, are you a deaf?
No.
Ah, damn it. Mystery guest, are you a moderator?
No.
Mystery guest, are you an admin?
No.
Oh, damn it. Mystery guest, are you active on Discord?
Somewhat.
Mystery guest, are you active on Telegram?
Yes.
Mystery guest, are you more active on Telegram than Discord?
Yes.
Mystery guest, have you on purpose changed your voice?
No.
Maybe this mystery guest is more known for doing something than the person. That's a clue.
Mystery guest, have you made a famous picture for GMR?
No.
Okay.
You got about 30 seconds left, Jesus.
Okay, maybe an NFT?
You're on the right track.
Okay. Mystery guest, have you made a famous coin for GMR?
No.
God damn it.
About 20 seconds left, Jesus.
How
You're
much?
close. I wonder if anyone at home's got this. Remember, listeners, if you know who this is now,
it's so
that's
hard.
a big clue with NFTs.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
No. Already? Oh, it's hard. I'm not.
Sadly, Jesus, you didn't get it. You were close. You were so close. Do you want to have a last stab? Last quick one before we reveal who the mystery guest is?
I have no idea about Telegram.
Think NFTs.
Yeah, I'm thinking NFTs.
Okay,
seriously.
that's enough time. We have to push on because we actually want to get a chance to speak to our special guest as well. So, mystery guest, would you like to now? And also, Jesus, before we're going to show you on camera who this person is. You know, earlier on in chat, you said you're the one and only, as in you are the only one and the only Jesus. Are you correct? And I said maybe you're not. Mystery guest, would you like to reveal who you are and why you're GMR famous?
Yes. I am the winner.
Take your camera down. Remember to
camera up first. Let's do it.
Yes, do it.
First off, I believe I am the Jesus. We might have to change your name. I
can't.
Why are you famous for?
I am the person who sold the NFT for $8,000.
It's too much.
So there we go, man. We've found the real Jesus. You're an impersonator as well. And say, so John, thanks for coming on this show. And say, John sold the very first ever GMR NFT for $8,000 incredible dollars.
Wow.
John, did you go out and buy another one and straight afterwards for like $100?
I did not buy a second one. I'm trying my hardest to win another one, honestly.
Jesus has actually got one. Jesus has actually got one on the NFT, so he may be able to make a deal after the actual episode. If you want to chuck in €1,000,
I will sell you mine for 10,000.
John, say, how's that changing? Obviously, having that gone one day from having a good size wallet, probably, or whatever, having a wallet to obviously that size wallet with all-time high come up. That's going to make some changes, I can believe.
I would say I had a moderate wallet before the sale, and now my wallet is just crazy. I mean, all-time high would basically change my life currently.
And that's
it would pay off my house. It would be incredible.
And we're not that far from doing that again, are we? We've done it once, and we can do it again. So you'll be kicking back as well. So, and as I say, with the NFT hub coming up soon, are you going to be buying more GMR? You're going to start collecting them? Because obviously you made some money off this first one, so there's some.
I'm going to try very, very hard to get my hands on another one to actually keep, and I'm going to keep along with the collection too.
Well, John, I'd love to talk to you more on the show. We are pushed for time. We have got a slight schedule, obviously, which we're going to keep to this week, Jesus. But it's been lovely having you on the show, Jesus. How are you feeling, my friend? We're going to go again next week, Jesus. We've got someone else lined up. So next week,
you're going to get it next week, Jesus. I know it. I can feel it.
Please tell me it will be easier.
And if anyone else wants to become a mystery guest on the show to try and convince Jesus or try and beat Jesus, because at the moment he's 1-0 down against the community, drop me a message and we'll get you on the following show. But John, mate, can I just take the time, enjoy that all-time high, and say, and thanks again for coming on the show and taking part in our first ever mystery special guest episode.
Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Jesus, do you want to do your blessings goodbye to the real Jesus as well? Or actually, no, Jesus John. Jesus John. Actually, Jesus, you actually look very similar to the Jesus from the film, the Kevin Smith films. Can you just give us the thumbs up and the wink? Because that's
that's it.
Fantastic.
Look at the cat.
Oh, yeah, just
before we go.
And just before we go really quickly, John also has his own podcast site. John, you do Magic and Gathering, don't you, as well? So let's give you a little shout out for your own. So let's tell us more about your site, your stream.
I have a YouTube channel. It's called MTG Peddler that I open up Magic the Gathering cards on. And I also do a podcast called The Cryptic Commander.
Oh,
Fantastic.
All
Gonna
based
check
off
those out.
of Magic the Gathering.
Well, make sure you drop us the links and we'll get those put in the show descriptions
Oh,
as well.
definitely.
But again,
yeah,
thank
we
you
will.
guys. It's been an excellent episode and we'll be back next week with a new mystery guest. Take it
Thank
easy,
you
guys.
very much.
Thank you.
Bless you all.
Stay easy.
Bye.
I like how Westy asks John to confirm that he's not a robot, but his microphone totally makes him sound like one. You made all that money in the NFT, John. You can afford a new microphone now, okay? But this is very exciting. John sold the Retro One NFT for $8,000 US, and that's before GMR has taken off like it's going to when the GMR Center launches. So just imagine, once the GMR Center takes off and the price of the coin skyrockets, I mean, imagine what you'll be able to sell your Retro One NFTs for at that time. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be absolutely crazy. By the way, for those of you listening to the audio-only version of the podcast, the whole joke is, so, we have Westy and the Jesus, and, Jesus does his whole joke with blessing everybody, but John actually looks like Jesus with the long hair and the beard and everything. Make sure you check out John's YouTube channel. I love Magic the Gathering. Okay, I have probably $5,000 worth of cards sitting right over there. And I love watching those videos, those channels that just open up old beta packs and stuff. Actually, a buddy of mine has a full binder page full of Black Lotus alphas. So, for those of you who know what that means, you know how much money that is. I wonder if there's going to be a Black Lotus NFT. Maybe Wizards of the Coast could make, an NFT out of the original alpha Black Lotus. Who knows? All right, so we're coming up here on the end of the show. As you know, we've changed the format of the show a little bit. Troy is going to end us off with his interview with Scott from Budget Arcade. But before we get to that, make sure you check the links in the description below, or if you're listening to the audio-only version, in the description on wherever it is on the page there. And make sure you send us some voice messages, comments and questions for the podcast. Also, your suggestions for the naming of the social hub on the GMR Center. And you can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere that you get your podcasts. If you don't know, if you've only been listening, we do have all kinds of video production going on our YouTube channel now here at the GMR Finance YouTube channel for the podcast. And yeah, I guess that's all I got for you guys this week. And we will see you next week with the unveiling of the GMR Center. Alrighty. Take it away, Troy and Scott. And have a good one, guys.
Welcome to the GMR Zone podcast. My name is Troy, and I'm joined today here with Budget Arcade, aka Scott. How are you today, man?
I'm doing good, Troy. How are you yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. A bit of an impromptu podcast. It's good, it's good.
Yeah, do what we have to, right?
Yeah, 100%. In the brief research I did do on Budget Arcade, you guys do reviews of video games and stuff like that, yeah?
Specifically free to play video games.
Oh, nice, nice. So that would cover League of Legends, Pokemon Unite, those sort of things.
All of those. Anything that doesn't have a price tag up front to play the game is what we will review. And we're actually the only one in the market that's reviewing free to play games.
Oh, wow. That's really good. Good niche. Good niche.
Yes. Very good niche. Especially because of that, I can actually say that we are the #1 free to play gaming podcast in the world.
Yo, well, that's pretty sweet. No, how did you even find out about that niche? How did you get into that sort of side of things?
So originally what I was trying to do is do a YouTube channel with my stepson, and we did a pilot episode. He didn't really care for it. And I was like, yeah, I don't like putting my face out there. Not that I don't, it's something weird that I don't like to put my face out there. But I held on to that idea for about a year, and then my buddy Jeff, who's on the podcast with me, decided that, or he told me about podcasts, and I started listening to a couple that he had recommended. There was one in particular. It was called. Now I'm blanking on the name. New Game Plus, and the way they did everything appealed to me, and I was like, that would work for my idea for like free to play gaming.
Yep. That's pretty good. What is your favorite free to play game at the moment?
At the moment, I've been playing the crap out of some League of Legends Wild Rift, which is the mobile version of League of Legends. It's a little bit stripped down compared to the League proper, in the fact that the games don't last as long because your level cap is a little bit lower.
Yep.
And it's a faster paced gameplay than it is on League of Legends.
Yeah, I've played a little bit of Wild Rift. I ended up dropping like $100 on champions and skins and stuff, but I do play League on PC as well. So
yeah,
I got a soft spot.
I've got it
for that.
downloaded on my PC. I've played a couple games on PC, but my PC is not the greatest in the world. It's good enough for a podcast, but not so much for games.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing about like free to play games / League of Legends and stuff like that. They've got a very sort of low spec game. The formula doesn't change too much. The graphics don't change obviously that much. And
that's true.
It's universal for all, sort of free to play games somewhat. Apart from like, I think it was Warframe? That game was intense.
Oh yeah, it is. And we did review that early on in the podcast. I think it's like episode, I want to say 8, maybe even earlier than that.
Wow. Do you ever look back on like your previous podcasts and think like, wow, what the hell was I thinking? Like the quality's so bad and stuff like that?
Yeah, yes and no. We actually started on our phones recording. And so the audio quality in the first, I want to say the first 6 episodes was really bad. There was actually the very first episode we did, my phone had almost like a system error with the app I was using, and it's cut off my recording through over half of the podcast. Luckily, the guy that we had editing for us at the time did a very good job of piecing it together. So it didn't sound terrible, but everything that I said was completely omitted in the later half of the episode.
No, I feel that as well. We're only on episode 14 is this week. And looking back on my first episode and interviews and stuff, I'm like, oh my God, it's so cringe. I was recording on a phone like yourself. And then I was using voice record through my headset at one point on Windows. I wasn't using OBS or anything like that. And I didn't even know how to use OBS correctly. So it's a massive learning curve. But once you get things down, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's kind of hard because you guys went from audio only to audio video. And I can't imagine doing that. That's, as you can see, the graininess of my laptop camera is not that great.
My stuff's not the best quality. I think my audio equipment is by far probably the best out of all the PC parts I have. And then I just went out and bought a cheap Logitech camera. So it sort of works a bit. But yeah, it's not too bad. So how did you,
whatever works.
How did you even get into the podcast scene? What sort of pushed you towards that?
Oh, basically just the podcast that my buddy had got me to start listening to. I was like, podcasting would be the perfect median for this idea that I've had. And the reason I really had the idea was that there was a lot of free to play games out there that I felt wasn't getting enough attention, so to speak. So, for example, at the time I was playing Paladins. Yeah. Very similar to Overwatch. My friends were all playing Overwatch. I didn't have Overwatch because I couldn't afford it. And I got 6 kids. So, money's tight when it comes to that. So I was playing Paladins. I was trying to get my buddies to play with me, the ones that were playing Overwatch, but they just wouldn't jump in on it. And I'm just there's not enough visibility on a lot of free to play games. They get a bad rap because a lot of them have terrible microtransactions, and there's just so much most of them are phone games, and a lot of people are there's a lot of people that are gamer if you're gaming on phone, you're not a real gamer, which is bullcrap because the type of games that are on phones nowadays are just on par with what's on PC. Yeah, because our phones are just little tiny pocket powerful PCs.
I know 100%. I went out of my way and bought myself a Samsung S21 Ultra, And the refresh rate and just the smooth like graphics of the screen is disgustingly good. And I tried to play like on my old phone Genshin Impact, which is I think that's another free game.
We've reviewed that one.
Yeah. And my phone would just overheat and, do all this weird shit. And I was like, fuck, I need a better phone. Yeah. So I got a new phone and I'm yet to play Genshin Impact, but I have been playing a lot of Pokemon Go on my new phone because it's so
nice,
satisfying because it's so smooth. And I think it's optimized very well.
I'm looking forward to September because Pokemon Unite's going to drop on phones as well.
Oh, really? Yeah. I knew it dropped on the Switch. I haven't gotten around to playing it on Switch yet. But is there any
not terrible, but if there's a pay to win aspect in it, it makes it very frustrating.
Oh, like paygate stuff. Like I remember Guild Wars 2 had like the paygate thing as well, which was annoying. It was free, but then you had to pay to get certain things.
Yeah, and one of the things we cover in the podcast is whether or not like what you're paying for, if it gives you an advantage over gameplay or if it's like just cosmetic type of stuff.
Yep. Yeah. Like I know League on PC, there's certain skins that have different animations slightly. So it does give you a bit of an advantage. But most of the time it's pretty equal. It's just the balancing team and to go over the top with certain champions and then they end up being broken and having to be reworked and stuff. But
but Riot's really good about balancing a lot of their characters.
They do try. They've got nearly 200 champions. So it's a massive amount of like tweaking and stuff. So you got to think of all the different combos and things that people may use or could use. So hats off to them, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
But no, so you have 6 kids.
Yep.
At what age? What's the youngest to oldest?
Oh, youngest is 4, oldest is 17.
Oh wow, okay, big age gap.
Yes,
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. How do you find managing your time? Obviously, you have to play these games to review them, and then also get some like recording down via podcast and make it somewhat coherent.
Originally, we used to do a game a week, which was pretty rough for trying to get gameplay time in. But now we do a game every other week with like filler episodes in the off weeks. And that seems to work out a little bit better because you've got those 2-week spans that you can actually play. And it's easier to get like a phone game in or, but like whenever the game's on Xbox or on Switch, I don't have as much time to play it.
Yep.
So it gets a little rocky there sometimes. Sometimes I'll go into the episode and be like, yeah, I didn't really play this game.
Get your kids to test it for you.
I have had that before, yes.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's so smart. But yeah, so like I know that you're friends with Frank and stuff like that, essentially, and talk about podcasty things. But do you guys ever talk about like GMR and the future of GMR, where it's headed?
Oh yeah, all the time. I'm fully invested in this.
Hell yeah.
As you know, I have a unique perspective because of the fact I review free-to-play games, and I can see what they do with their microtransactions in the games would equate so well to a cryptocurrency being the primary way to buy your in-game skins, your in-game products, whatever else. Like it blows my mind what could be done with it.
Yeah,
and that's basically when I started reading about the project. That's why I was like, okay, this right here is going to explode when they get that gaming API up.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think people don't understand the potential yet. They're sort of sitting there looking at it as like a cryptocurrency side of things. But when you take a step back and you look at the whole entire project and the fact that if you released, one game and it had items in it, and those items were NFTs transferable to other games, for instance, that shit would be insane. Like if you're playing League of Legends and then you switch over to Valorant, any of the skins that you have on Valorant go to League of Legends and vice versa, and they're classed as NFTs, that shit would be $1 billion idea. It's crazy.
Not even that, but like say you're playing Riot Games, okay? You've got League of Legends, you are purchasing things with GMR and League of Legends.
Yeah.
Then you jump over to Valorant. You don't have to have 2 separate currencies. Now you have one currency across all their games.
Yeah, I have noticed that is probably my most hated thing about all games is they all seem to have this separate little like, hey, I'm going to have my own little currency. like V-Bucks for
and a
Fortnite.
lot of
and
them
stuff.
have a what we call currency bloat, where there's like 4 to 5 different currencies within the game that you have to use to
Yeah.
either upgrade other things and then like buy this to upgrade this to upgrade this.
Yep.
So you've used like 3 different currencies just to upgrade your main characters, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, like my idea of a future would be like, I love MMORPGs. Like I fucking grew up on that stuff. I played the shit out of Guild Wars, the original, when I was like a wee kid. And I want to see like an MMORPG where the currency is GMR. And then from there, you pretty much like, you can yield farm and do all this stuff in the game. So like you can go out and kill a whole heap of monsters and get like 1 or 2 GMR at a time. You know, that'd be so fucking cool.
Yeah, I don't know about like actually earning crypto in a game. I know there's a couple of games out there that do that currently.
Yep.
But I think that's would be almost like mining it. And since
Yeah.
GMR already has the I'm blanking on what I want to say, the
pools and
tokens
staking.
are already there. We don't have to mine any of the tokens. They already exist.
Yep.
They're there for the taking. All you have to do is buy them up. It would be different with like a game like that where you would actually be having to mine it. I don't know if that would work as well, to be honest.
Yep. I feel
And
it
that
would make the coin's value skyrocket because it would have so
Yeah.
much utility, you know, and it would strip itself from the cryptocurrency title to an in-game currency title as well, which would be crazy.
Yeah. I think though, just putting it as a game's currency would be immense.
Oh yeah, it'd be a difficult task to do.
If you think about it like this, so Warzone last year, if I remember, made like, what was it, $2 billion in revenue, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah,
imagine if it was that $2 billion was made as GMR. Not only are they going to make that because, you know, that's how much their products have, you know, the people have purchased with that currency, but then they're also going to make the reflections on what they've already had.
yeah,
So that's going to increase what they've already made, and then also like it's mind-boggling how much like a developer could actually make on top of what they're already making if they were to use GMR as their in-game currency.
yeah. In insane amounts of money would be thrown down. But you know, like I don't know. I've looked at other currencies and you know, or other DeFi games, if you want to put it in that sort of parentheses, where the game itself is you just essentially staking and farming. And I'm like, yeah, it's a game technically, if you want to put it that way, but I want something I can literally pick up a controller or a mouse and keyboard and run around an open world, or you know, actually do something in the game rather than just going to a web browser and putting a hero up and going, yep, cool, he's earning experience, and then walking away. It's not really a game. It's not as interactive as what I would perceive a game to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even if it was something as simple as like something Candy Crush, you know, for instance, like that is a game and it's an addictive game with the core fundamentals of it. Like there's progression, there's, you know, you got in-game currencies, you got all that stuff. But picture that with like a GMR twist. That would be really cool. There'd be a lot of potential there to, you know, earn GMR on your phone whenever you got a bit of spare time.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy.
No, that would be fun. So I picture once GMR takes off and all that, I would like to go to school to make video games.
Yep.
And so I have an idea for a game where it's the only thing you can purchase in it is cosmetics for your characters.
Yep.
Fully customizable characters. What you put on them is completely like customizable.
Yep.
And have each one of those cosmetics as an NFT, but also having the in-game currency as GMR. So that way, you know, you're buying your NFTs with your GMR
Yep.
for your characters. Say, you know, 8 months down the line, I'm done with this game. You could take your skins and put them up on auction and somebody else could buy them. And then you could make back either all the money or, you know, even more than what you paid for the skin originally.
Yeah.
Depending on if you like a limited edition skin or something like that.
You could even have the skins transferable between another game or the next game you're making or something, you know.
Yeah, that would
if
be
they
a
are
thing too.
NFTs, they'd be linked to a wallet, and that wallet could sign up for the next game. And then it's like, oh, cool, you've got like a shirt here. You want to put it in the next game? You're like, yeah, all right, I'll put it on this character. But I think that would be really funny.
Yeah, so like imagine like League of Legends. Okay, so you have League, you've got your characters, you purchase your skins for those characters. Then you decide, okay, I'm going to play some Legends of Runeterra, which is also a Riot game.
Yep.
Based in a League of Legends world where you're playing cards with those characters that are on it. But you could have those cards with those skins already attached.
That'd be pretty sick. I don't know. Like, I think everyone sort of has failed to grasp how early they really are within GMR's like little universe, if you want to call it that. You know,
the timeline.
Yeah, if you could get into Microsoft Windows before they even had a platform or MS-DOS even for literally a millionth of a cent, you fucking would. Like 100%, you'd be in there and you wouldn't be complaining. You'd be like, hell yeah, I'm so early. I'm going to keep loading up.
Oh, I know. Like some of these people that are on the Reddit and all that, just posting these stupid comments. I'm like, you don't understand the project. You don't see where this is going, where it's going to be. It's going to be huge. Even the people in the Discord that are like, when I say things like, oh, you know, when it hits 2 cents, I'm going to be a millionaire. And they're like, it'll never hit 2 cents. I'm like, yeah, you just wait. Just wait.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is sort of like skepticism because of the network that has been released on the Binance Smart Chain itself. There's a lot of controversy and there's a lot of rug pulls and there's a lot of projects that are, you know, mislabeled and scams and rug pulls and honeypots and all this stuff. And I know myself, I'm starting to become very salty, like the Binance salt chain, I started to call it, because I'm starting to become very salty when I see a new project. I'm like, it's just going to rug. And I think people are like new holders or new people that are investing in GMR have that same attitude. So I think a lot of it is education, positivity, and just, you know, the devs doing what the devs have been doing currently. Like they're very transparent, they're very forward, they're very open and honest, and they do give you like this sense of like, oh shit, these guys are legit. I'm going to believe into this project. You know, like,
oh yeah.
I wouldn't say trust because that's it's not really, it doesn't go hand in hand with investing. But if you believe in a project enough, you put enough money into it to, you know, show that belief, certainly speaking.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Oh, 110%. So yeah, it's something that I'm very passionate about. Like as soon as I seen GMR, I was like, oh shit, what the hell is this? And I got in.
So here's the story of how I got in, if you want to hear it.
Yes, definitely, please.
So for the podcast, I try to get, you know, sponsors so that I can actually make money on my podcast.
Yeah.
There's a website called Podcorn that you can sign up for, and they post different sponsorships that you can basically pitch the sponsor what you know, that, hey, you know, you could sponsor with me. This is how many episodes I have. This is how many listens a week we get.
Yep.
You know, whatever. You give them all your metrics and all that, and you pitch your idea to them, and they can either go with it or not. So I get an email from Podcorn from about GMR, the GMR Zone, because Frank was trying to get some advertising out there to try to get more people to listen.
Yep.
And so I'm like, okay, what's GMR? It said crypto, and I was playing around with Dogecoin whenever it was like 3 cents, or no, I bought it at 8 cents.
Yeah.
And watched it soar up to 70 cents and then just tank. That pissed me off so bad. But anyways, so I like looked into it, read what it's about, and then I jumped on the Discord and I was like, yo, who's running the advertising for the podcast? And they're like, oh, this is Frank. So I started talking with Frank, and, you know, we came to a deal where we've got so many listens that we're doing, because that was another thing with Podcorn. They don't do what's called CMP, which is your capital per minute listens, whatever. I forget what the actual terminology, what it means, but it's basically for every 1,000 listens you get, your sponsor pays a set amount.
Okay.
And so he and I worked out, you know, however many listens it was for whatever set amount it was, because Podcorn doesn't allow you to do that. They do it by, you get like 4 episodes that you can pitch, And then those episodes basically keep the ad on there forever.
Okay.
And so we worked it out that way. And then we did another where we did an episode where I interviewed Frank about the podcast, and me and Frank decided on a price for that. And in the negotiations, like, okay, well, I'm okay with that price. I don't think it's going to garner as many listens as you were hoping for, and the price that I'm quoting you. So instead of doing it for the full price, how about we do half cash and half in GMR? So now I'm vested.
Well, that GMR is going to exponentially grow if you just keep holding.
Oh yeah, it's already so I was on Bitmart originally, and they got rid of reflections, so I didn't get any reflections on that. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I switched over to Trust Wallet. When I switched over, it actually, you got your fees.
Yeah.
I've already made back the fees in reflections, so that's nice.
Hell yeah, that's so good. And that's such a good story that it was like organically found through like sort of a paying for something. It's so good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, that wraps up today's episode. Thanks for chatting with me, Scott. And if you want to plug
me on,
if you want to plug your socials, by all means.
Yeah, our Budget Arcade, wherever you want to see us, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We are Budget Arcade Podcast on Twitch, but I don't ever stream on there, very rarely. I did a stream last year for Children's Miracle Network to raise money for children's hospitals, but other than that, I really don't stream very often. TikTok, I'm also Budget Arcade Podcast, and then you can listen to the podcast on any podcasting app because we're everywhere. And it uploads to YouTube as soon as we publish an episode normally.
Awesome, man. Yeah, thanks for coming on again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to the GMR Zone podcast with your host, Frank Katina. Be sure to tune in weekly. You can catch us weekly on all the major podcasting hosts. Tune in next week for more GMR news.